Now, it's time to start our post-lunch session. And post-lunch, we have a fireside chat coming up. 1 minute, सांस ले लो. Thank you. Okay, we have a fireside chat. And this chat talks about that great businesses aren't just built on ideas. Do you agree with that? Yes? A very, very important element of great businesses on which they thrive is strong teams and enduring cultures. The most successful companies don't just hire talent. They nurture mindsets, instill values, and create environments where people innovate, collaborate, and excel. In the upcoming fireside chat, it brings together a visionary entrepreneur, an industry leader who has mastered the art of building an organization that stands the test of time. This guest is in for a discussion about his vast expertise in conceiving and nurturing creative concepts into full-fledged software applications, and his role as the president at Zoho School of Learning, Zoho's ongoing experiment in alternative education. He's a founding member of Zoho Corporation, and he's inspired deeply by Steve Jobs. He believes in aspiring to be insanely great at whatever he does and whatever his team takes on. A very little known fact about him is that he's also a YouTuber with over 800 videos on his channel. You have to talk about culture building and consistency. You have to meet this person. And without any further delay, I would like to invite Rajendran Dandapani on the stage. And to be in conversation with Rajendran, we have Alkesh Agarwal. He doesn't need any introduction. He gave us the welcome note today morning. So let's give a big round of applause for Rajendran Dandapani and Alkesh Agarwal.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. After lunch, but thank you, Anupriya. I think.
No, but wait, I won't thank her. I'm not going to forgive you because you have made me feel that I put them all to sleep and hence you woke them all up. Right? Ye kya hai?
So, Anupriya, take this. Remember this, huh? So, you know one good thing, what Rajendran said right now? He'll always remember you now. Okay. So that's how you should look at things, right? And that's what Rajendran actually is. So Rajendran I'm sure, first of all, thank you for being here. And it's always a privilege to meet you, learn from you, from your wisdom. And as we enter into our today's discussion, there'll be a lot for all of us to take away. But before I start, I have a question about something. So we've always heard about dropouts. So Mark Zuckerberg, the dropout, somebody from Google to drop out. But you are one guy who's not a dropout, but a kick out. So he was kicked out of IIT Madras, actually. So he's not a dropout. And so what is the story behind it? Why were you kicked out?
Age of 17, we think we want to achieve something. And the course we have chosen, the path that's been given us, is asking us to do something else. And often it ends up that we lack the discipline to sacrifice the immediate pleasure to achieve the long-term pleasure. That's what happened to me, to many of us, I guess. But luckily, I had some good mentors along the way. I met Sridhar Vembu at the right time. And my passion for computer programming, which made me bunk classes, skip exams, run away from courses in the electronics department I was supposed to be in, helped me in the long run because I think it was Shakespeare who said, when you enjoy work, when you enjoy the thing that you're doing, you don't have to work another day because it's part of what you do. Sunday becomes Thursday, becomes Friday, becomes Tuesday, and you lose track of work taking energy out of you, and instead it becomes a positive battery booster for you. And luck brought that to me, is what I would say.
But I don't think so, because definitely luck is always when opportunity meets preparation, and you
But
did
I would add one more thing though. The conventional human being finishes studying at a college and then uses what they studied at work. मैंने तो वो नहीं किया अच्छी तरह, and इसलिए I had to keep learning every day at work. And that became a sense of a DNA aspect for me. I teach at the Zoho schools of learning, and every day I work with the students. There is something I take home. Today I learned. And it is a good quality for all of us to instill. The learner mindset and the lifelong learner hat that you wear, because the rate at which things are changing, you cannot afford to simply rest on what you have learned. Even a year ago, these gets outdated.
Yeah, and your transformative journey, for most of us here, they know Zoho. So all of us knows what Zoho is. But from that, like, you are in Zoho for 26 years now, if I'm right? And you have built it from scratch, from being 7th employee,
Yes,
right?
employee
From
number 7.
Now Zoho is 17,000 employee, 45 locations across the globe, remote teams, whatnot, and 55 plus products. And I heard recently you guys crossed the revenue of $1 billion. So congratulations, a company from India who has made a world-class product, phenomenal. But again, because you did your thing unconventional way, there's a saying that you hire people without degrees, and you have got thousands of people in your company, engineers who doesn't have degree, formal degrees or a formal education. How do you do that?
Right. See, anybody who comes up on stage and starts talking about how they achieved something or how things panned out for them and so on, don't believe them completely. Because probably they are warped themselves, their own vision of what actually happened. They would have forgotten all the real hard work they did. They will remember the strokes of destiny and the good luck fate that came along their way. And there is no playbook really which stands the test of time. What worked for Zoho in 1998 and 99 will not work for any company in 2026, 27. So that's an important starting point. Let's be humble and let's agree that we are happy to be on this crest of this wave, but there is no been there, done that, achieved it. You try it, please. Also, the initiative and the intent is not to break convention, debunk myths, do things differently. Only Apple perhaps can claim to do that. Think different all the way from Steve Jobs' time. In our case, and probably in most cases where companies try things differently, it's because they cannot afford to do things the normal way. If we have to attract talent, we need to have some very good software and pedigree. If we need to have some very good software, we need very good talent. Right there is an unending catch-22 vicious cycle. To break it, we said, okay, if we go to top-tier colleges and ask for placement, they are not even letting us in. The placement office isn't letting us in. So why go there and knock at those doors? We said we won't recruit from IIT. Because once we went there, they didn't even invite us in. We didn't have a standing space inside. Instead, let us go to places where there is this underserved swaths of talent, undiscovered. Many of us mistake English speaking to good communication skills. Let's go break that down. So if we can do these things, if we have been running Zoho schools of learning for 20 years now, very simply put, it's a little classroom environment ensconced inside a high-tech software company. The faculty are drawn from the length and breadth of the company. Marketers teach marketing. Animators come and teach design. Software engineers, not academicians, software engineers teach software development. Communication skills are being taught by the HR department. This is different from any other university or college you find. So we catch them young in the age group of 17 to 20. We pay them money, stipend, instead of charging fees. We do not mark attendance, because the moment we mark attendance, it will be like you're forced to attend a class even though you're not interested in it, or even though you know it already. We invite only students who are interested in the story, and hence it's a pressure on the faculty members to add value in every class. They can't memorize something from some website yesterday and regurgitate it here. And we don't conduct examinations. It's a continuous evaluation process instead. 20 years this has been running. 1/10 of our workforce is from Zoho schools. My own son is from Zoho schools. Why didn't any other company take this as an example and create another Zoho schools inside? Continues to be a mystery for me. So we do things differently simply because that was the only option left for us. We chose very early in the game not to take external funding. We said no. I was part of that. I was attending that earlier talk today about investing from outside versus bootstrapping. We were bootstrapped all along. In fact, Sridhar, our CEO, often jokes, I hate opium. Opium being other people's money. He keeps saying that. When somebody asks him, what is your exit strategy? He says, my exit strategy is death. I'll keep at it. I'll keep at it until the company prospers, until every one of my employees and every one of my customers are satisfied, which will never happen. Right? So
very inspiring, and really loving the way what you said. What you did differently is that you're bringing in young people. You're not charging them. You're not taking exams. Still, you are being able to curate them. So it's phenomenal, because even large companies or mid-sized companies, they are hiring people with great CVs, with experiences. Their success rate might not be hitting 60-70% right now in the current market. And with you, you said 10% of your workforce. It means around 2,000. Around 2,000 is coming from Zoho schools. Phenomenal. So I think one word that comes to my mind, Rajendran, when I every time meet you and come to know all about this, is unconventional. So unconventional way of leaving a school, leaving your IIT. But this guy is very, very concerned about his ROIs. I always say that. So whatever he does, he ensure he's consistent about it and brings the ROI. वो college से निकाल दिया गया, but वहाँ एक लड़की पढ़ती थी, उससे शादी कर ली राजेंद्र ने. So he married a girl from that college because he spent some time at that college. So and
paisa vasool, they say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So true entrepreneur always looks for ROI, and I love that. So one phenomenal fact that we hear about Zoho, and you being here, there's a product called Zoho Desk, amongst others, which is one of the world's finest products in tech. Millions and millions of users worldwide. And there's a team of over 400 people who have created that product. Engineers, and I hear that all those engineers work from remote villages, tier 2, tier 3 cities.
Yes.
Villages, sorry.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have follow-through question. How, when, how you make it happen?
Yeah, again, I am going to debunk this thing about, oh my God, from the villages, this software product has been created. No. The actual story was, there were other SaaS companies coming up in Chennai doing something very similar. And we needed a workforce that could double down, focus on the long term, focus on building an amazing product instead of being distracted by a better job offer perhaps, a better job opportunity perhaps. So we said, let's go to a place where probably we are the only software company around. The rest of the places are filled with paddy fields and mountains, the Western Ghats. And Tenkasi was such a place. There were some early employees in our company who every day used to complain about the living costs going up, real estate going up, pollution on the rise, problems, the urban problems that Bengaluru suffers more than Chennai, but Chennai is a lot worse than Tenkasi. So this manager who kept wondering, will we open a branch there? If only I could go meet my mom every weekend. I want to be with my mom and dad every weekend, he said. And that was the spark. We said, okay, we are a cloud-based software company. We're not going to invite our customers or prospects to our office. We don't need to show them steel and glass buildings and amazing campuses to. We don't even wear a tie or a coat suit.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
You said you're a cloud-based internet company. Which year you are talking about?
Which?
And year. So long back you were thinking that.
Correct.
So we are still struggling that we should do remote work or not.
Right.
We should hire people outside or not, and you're talking about 15 odd years back?
Yes. And the other aspect is when you talk remote, immediately there is this devil called micromanagement that comes in. Okay, you can work remote, but you need to check in at this time. You need to be available on video. That is not remote work. Remote work is when you leave it to them to deliver on the how. Leave it to them. Just tell them the what. In fact, I will go even further. Don't even tell them the what. Tell them the why. If you can give them the right, start with why, Simon Sinek. If you can give them the right why, they discover the what and they beautifully innovate on the how. That is what happened with Zoho Desk. We weren't involved sitting here in Chennai on every step of the way, monitoring, managing. We didn't even have a deadline to roll it out. When customers ask us, even Pramod, when he asks us, when will the next version of the product be ready? We say, when it is ready, it will be ready. We say that because each product, when it's launched, it has to pass through stringent security. It has to be priced right. It has to work, dance well, like we saw a while ago. It has to dance well with the rest of the products that are already out there. So we say it will be ready when it is ready. We cannot speed it up. And this is a huge liberation for an IT professional. 90% of the pressure an IT professional faces is artificial pressure in terms of timeline. Delivering it. Red Bull and pizza and late Saturday nights working. That is why bugs come too. That is why security lapses come too. If you can give them this liberation, they'll be happy to work from anywhere you want.
Great. So anybody sitting here in audience thinking कि Kolkata से company नहीं बनाई जा सकती है, so you name the village, if you can name it again. The village.
Tenkasi.
Tenkasi. So India has created a product called Zoho Desk that world swears by has been created from Tenkasi. So what we can do sitting back here from Calcutta. So
Tenkasi is basically Dakshin Kashi. Ten is Dakshin. Uttar Dakshin.
So one line I want to take away with this, that great products don't need great addresses. That's what we believe in today's world, that you need this building, this glass building, this city. So great products don't need great addresses.
Can I take a little longer about
sure.
buildings? I remember there is this famous law called Conway's Law. Conway's Law states the products and solutions that a particular team builds reflects the mentality, structure, and personality of the team. So if there are tools, for example, one of our discussion forum tools is called Connect, Zoho Connect. And the first request, most customers who subscribe to it, the first support request that comes to us is, can you turn this feature off? How do I turn this feature off? They want a feature removed from a product. And what is that feature? It's called Town Hall, where anybody, any group of people can identify a particular person, a CEO perhaps, a chairman perhaps, and ask that person questions in a weekly, periodic manner. Interestingly, while asking, they can also ask anonymously. Anonymous open house town hall is an important feature in that product. Why? Because Sridhar, our CEO, runs an anonymous open house town hall every week, including to students of Zoho Schools of Learning, to ask any question under the sun. One question may be, there is no particular snack available in the evening on Wednesdays. Another question could be, what is the outlook for 2026 with AI coming in? Will we be building our own LLM? So this whole spectrum of questions coming from anonymous guests. They want to know how to knock that off. Hey, there is a simple setting. You can knock that off. Just say off. But their problem is, it shouldn't be visible to the employees that it has been shut off. Because the simple fact that you're knocking something so powerful off talks about you as a company. So this is, in fact, Steve Jobs takes it even further, and he talks about how the structure of the building where something gets done impacts the personality of the software or any product that gets built out of it. Famously, in his biography, the founder of Pixar, he talks about an interaction he has with Steve Jobs. And a building is being constructed, a huge building is being constructed, and Steve Jobs is involved in the planning of what's to be where. That will be the marketing domain. Here we'll have animators. Here we'll have vendors coming in and interacting with Hollywood. Everything is all planned. But Steve Jobs puts his foot down about only one thing. He says, the restrooms should be placed only here in this floor. It's a 4-floor huge building, but all restrooms should be densely focused here, he says. These people ask, why? Every room, every floor should have one. Convenience, yeah? And Steve says, I believe in creativity flourishing through unexpected encounters. Nothing like an unexpected encounter in a restroom. Whatever else you do or not, har din ek baar jana hai. And that place should be such a place where random people from various backgrounds come, rub shoulders, exchange sparks. So even that, you should probably go Google for images of our offices. Our offices look nothing like offices. Our CEO doesn't have a cabin. There is no CEO cabin, uske bahar ek chaprasi ka cabin, no. He sits where, in fact, you can find out what the next product coming out of Zoho is, because that's where he'll be seated. Because that's where the heat is. That's where the instant correlations and corrections are done. He doesn't have a room. That flatness is something that you can bake into the structure of the company and structure of the buildings too. That's what I wanted to make.
Great. So this leads us to a very important character and culture at Zoho, which is transparency. And so from a point of view of your talent retention and talent interaction, so two things I'll like to ask in one question. Definitely, how do you maintain that transparency and what does that really mean to you? And over so many years, 2.5 decades, you guys have been consistently giving one product after another product, and improving your current products. What is that internal recipe that you guys have, or kind of things you run behind that makes it happen?
We believe software building is actually a creative endeavor. In fact, with AI coming in such full force, the real syntactical effort involved is going to become asymptotically zero. Already you have tools where a prompt can create the product for you. It's not about how am I going to build it, it's about what am I going to build. It's that spark that you really need. What am I going to build? How is it going to work with the rest of the things that I have built? And so on. So transparency, we think, is an important key ingredient to creativity. We believe in creativity coming in from unexpected corners too. It is not, there is no chief creative officer or a technology lab that comes up with all the latest innovations for everybody else to consume. That is never the case. It is from unexpected encounters that true creativity flows. So if we have 55 different products, every product's source code is visible across the company, not just for the developers, but for marketers and designers and testers too, to evaluate, to learn from. This has helped us to identify bugs, to look for missing features, to look for something here and something there and deduplicate. It has helped in each of these. Also, it comes from a healthy disregard to credentialism. You are a PhD, so you must be knowing more. No, not always. Or it also comes from a healthy disregard to a particular pedigree. I have been here 20 years. You have been here only 2 years. So what can you know that I don't know? So by consciously encouraging people to ask the question why, ask the question why not, we have been able to reinvent and completely reimagine some of the software suites we have built over time. This transparency also comes from the tool I told you about, Connect. There is across the company, we have the most active group in that intranet forum is called Zoho on Zoho. So anybody can come, poke a finger at some particular product and say, this one doesn't work. I have been asking for this, you haven't built it yet. It really happened. Somebody, guest number 45, they can hide themselves after all. He or she, I don't know, they kept coming to that forum and saying every couple of months, this doesn't work. This particular integration still doesn't work. It throws up this error and so on. And along came Sridhar the third time and said, guest 45, identify yourself. And respectfully, that person identified himself privately to Sridhar. And the next task he was given is, okay, you know that there is a problem. You have the skill to fix it. Open it up, fix it. If you want, join that team. And that person quit this team and joined that team, and everybody is living happily ever after. This is what I mean by transparency.
So when you said this guy left this team and joined other team, what do you really mean by that? So can I as an employee take that call of leaving this team and joining the other team?
Yes. See, there are among the many happy employees in the company, there are two groups of people who are eternally unhappy. The first is the marketer. Zoho does not really believe in marketing. Zoho believes in R&D. Zoho still believes if you can build an amazing mousetrap, the world will beat a path to your door. You don't need to go around telling everybody who you are. The marketing budget is a fraction of the research budget first. The other unhappy group is the middle manager group. Those who were doing a lot of good work, but now are stuck between those who do a lot of good work and the top management. This middle manager group is, I meant they were unhappy because they have been stripped of the power to run a team their way. It's actually the end user, the last leaf in the organizational structure, who has the power to say, I am not happy with this aspect of the team. Fix it once, twice. Third time, he can put up a flag and say, I would like a team change. If he is a good performer, if there is an opening somewhere else in the company, they are free to move. And their performance, their credentials, their appraisals, ratings, everything is frozen and carried over. It is a healthy, actively encouraged aspect of company hierarchical management. We do that primarily because there is no perfect husband, there is no perfect wife. There are only perfect couples. Similarly, there is no perfect employee or perfect manager or employer. There are only perfect employer-employee relationships. I suck as a person perhaps in some aspect. If you bring a complementing effect by coming in with some special ability, but you suck at something else, but I am good at it, we make a great team. If we can keep shuffling this around slightly, giving it a little nudge and a push once in a while, they settle to their ideal place, and that's when productivity, creativity, everything really boosts. So,
great. So, if today, after building for so many years, if one or two keyword that Zoho can be defined as when it comes to culture, and a culture that kind of flows from the top to bottom, what would that be? And how do you get to that? How do you achieve that?
Okay, so I'll try and list some words. One is leaving some money on the table. We do not want to catch the customer unawares, grab all the money that person has got and try to make a sprint for it. Instead, we want to leave it. Even if you're offering us, we say, wait, let's take some time. Let's understand each other better. Let's see if we are really. We have a service at Zoho called Concierge. It's not the typical sales and marketing team. The Zoho Concierge team prides itself. It says so in the web page there. It says, we are here to understand your business. This is not a conventional sales call. We will not try to push our software on you. We will try to understand what your specific need is. And in some rare cases, we will even send you to one of our competitors. Because your happiness is the final end goal for us. We are not the best at everything. We know that. We want you to know that too. We will come with our demos and pitches only if we have identified that it makes the best business sense, perfect value for money, getting our software onto your team. We call that a concierge, and so many Zoho school students work there too. And we see that as leaving money on the table. We are interested in a long-term relationship, lifelong relationship with the customer, and it proves too. 100 million customers worldwide, it's like Lays, you just can't have one. They ask for more, they ask for some more. And the power compounds. If you already have Zoho people and you hear about Zoho Recruit, you identify that instead of having a separate recruiting platform and a separate people platform, from the interview phase in Recruit, all the way through the employment phase, all the way to the exit interview, I'm able to track in one suite of products. That's single sign-on, and eventually when AI has its own role to play, this data becomes a gold mine for that AI, and it will throw up interesting insights. That's the best of both worlds.
So you was a...
I just did one word though.
Yeah.
That phrase is leaving money on the table.
Yes, I was coming to that.
Okay,
Actually, I picked up that word from...
Okay, so leaving money on the table is one. The second would be being fiercely independent, because we do too many experiments. We cannot afford to dance to somebody else's tune, take venture capital funding, be acquired by somebody, or even acquire somebody else, because we understand this culture has to be grown organically. I remember it was Jason Fried, I think, the CEO of 37 Signals, who wrote in a book called about rework. He writes, culture is like patina. Culture is not paint. Paint and patina, very common letters though. But he says it cannot be just applied on top. And now it looks beautiful, orange, red, glow, golden. No, it should be left out under the sun, under the rain. It should be left to grow, take its own direction. What the end result comes after many years of casual, careful disregard is what becomes a culture. Somebody else defined it as culture is what you do when nobody is watching. Yeah? So how can you really guide and manage and drive top down something like culture? So we are very obsessed about the culture of the organization, who we bring in, who we keep out, what kind of customers we work with. Sridhar said, serving the underserved. It could be customers. Can we serve the underserved customers? People with a lot of money will go to SAP, will go to Google, will go to the oracles of the world. But what about the rest of them who are just starting off, who need that only this feature for only this cost? Can we provide that for them? Serve the underserved. Similarly, we don't want to ever take care of the college graduate who, topping his course at university, has 4 offers in hand, and Zoho is the 5th offer. We don't want anybody to go offer shopping and say, I have got this already, do you want to pay me more? We don't want such people. We want to help those students for whom Zoho was a dream come true. There was no other opportunity for them. And these people stay loyal. So many of our employees stay for decades. And that's a clear reflection of the culture that we talked about. And similarly, serving the underserved students at Zoho schools. So customers, employees, talent, serving the underserved has become an important cultural phrase for us.
lovely trinity actually. So, we can go on and on with you. The dialogue never ends. But what I'll do today is I'll take 2 questions from audience also, if anybody is keen, and if you can. So there are few keywords with which Zoho is known. So I'll request if you can put those keywords, and if on the slide, anyone, 2 questions. We have limited time. If you can pick one keyword and want to ask someone something from Raj, it will be great.
That's actually a scribble, a caricature by a Zoho school student of our CEO breaking myths and debunking convention. So on these 10 topics, if you can pick a couple, I can take questions.
I'd love to know what is HR and marketing. Both are
Okay.
of my interest.
Okay.
Very unique. HR is marketing. What does that really mean?
Okay. Interesting story. We kept looking at websites, and there was this website from a company, a competitor company actually, where join us, our career page, and it showed happy people wearing shorts, playing tennis, nothing that the company was doing really, but lounging around in bean bags. And some company said, we do the laundry of we have a masaya, we have massage service, and it went on and on. Sridhar once said, he was the CEO at that time, he once said, stop marketing HR. You shouldn't have a page that requires, expects, attracts people, come join us. See, there is this old joke about Bill Gates, let him live long, but Bill Gates dying and going to heaven. And at the pearly gates, he's asked by St. Peter, do you want to go here or there? And he says, what is here, what is there? And there's a little TV screen that comes up, and here this person, everybody is walking around with some wings, some music. And here, there is one fiery, amazing party going on, lights and glaring and beautiful women and men. And Bill Gates says, I'll go here. And next morning, he's taken inside. And there, pointy head, trident in hand, boiling oil is waiting for him. And Bill Gates says, hey, open the door. What's that? What is this? And St. Peter says, oh, that was the demo reel. Okay. So we shouldn't have pages in our website that has demo reels. They should sign up only after knowing about what's actually going to be inside. And Sridhar went to the extent, it came to us as a project really. He said, can we design a booklet? 10 reasons why you shouldn't join Zoho. Shouldn't. 10 reasons why you shouldn't join Zoho. We came up with those. If you're interested in higher education, if you want a corner office, if you want, our visiting cards don't say who we are. When we were a much smaller company, parents came complain to Sridhar saying, I'm not able to get a girl to marry because this guy, for years on end, he has been member technical staff. No promotion. What kind of, right? These were the things that was driving societal emotions. Sridhar wanted to break it. And now today, we can print whatever we want on our card. I am chief storyteller. Right? So, that's why he said, let's debunk this. Let's not put up pictures, happy. Have you ever gone inside a software company? Has everybody put up a smile like that, smiling, all energetically leaning into the computer monitor? What are we trying to sell here? And if you sell something like that, he even draws a beautiful analogy between before you buy a Nikon camera or a Canon camera, you must have seen the glossy ad, that lens, the flare, and the beautiful logo, and amazing snow mountains, and guy doing a snowboard on that with lots of snow flying out and all that. And what does he get after he buys the camera? Small print, 6 languages, very thin, terrible paper manual. Have you seen the difference? Why can't manuals be as good? And why can't what's being sold tell the truth, he asks. So do not market HR.
Right. So,
What did you say, sir? Please go ahead.
My simple question is, do you really believe in this concept of work-life balance?
Okay. Earlier, can I hear your question also, sir?
yeah.
So throughout your dialogue, you endorsed bootstrapping, not taking investments from outside and all. So what venture capital is doing in this keyword?
Yeah, it was supposed to be against venture capital. We have already addressed it.
Okay.
We conduct so many experiments, Zoho Schools being one. Zoho Schools is a cost center for us. We spend money setting it up for them. We do not charge fees. We give them world-class education. The faculty being used there are software professionals who will be doing productive work building the next app for us. Instead, they are spending time with these. We do not enter into a bond with these students, which means they are not expected to work at Zoho when they finish Zoho Schools. Everything is an at-will relationship. If you are willing, stay. The moment it hits you, this is not for you, please leave. We don't want you spreading the ill will around you. So we conduct so many experiments that anybody, if we are publicly traded, if we are invested on, they will ask for quarter to quarter ROI. This is 20 years ROI still coming in. So we chose not to do that. Yeah? To answer sir's question about work-life balance, I spoke a while ago about work itself being redefined. What exactly is work? If you are told to do something that you're not really feeling like doing, if you are constrained to do something in one particular way, while you know other ways to do it, these are times when there is dissonance between what you want to do and what the company wants you to do. That is when this concept of, okay, I will work and you pay me for, which is why I hate that term. In HR circles, they use the word compensation. What do you mean compensation? Compensation as a word automatically means I am losing something and you're compensating for it. No. Instead, why can't we all say, thank you for the opportunity? That's what Steve Jobs did. When Steve Jobs went to Scully and invited him to become CEO at Apple, Scully was CEO at Pepsi, a much larger company. And Scully said, what Apple? I don't even sell apple juice here. And he went away. But that night, Steve Jobs came back to Scully's room and said, are you going to join me and take a shot at making a dent in this universe? Look at the word. Dent in this universe. Come join me, take a shot at making a dent in this universe, or are you going to spend all your life selling sugared water? That's nothing more than sugared water. Join me. And when you do this kind of a transaction, even money, even the perks that you get. Tenkasi, what are the perks we give them? Not a mall. There is no mall in Tenkasi, folks. There is no mall. There is no beach. There are no straight roads where you can drive at 100 kilometers per hour. What is the perk these people get? Weekends, they get to do farming. And do you know how many city folk have no idea what farming is? What getting dirty up to your knees in real fertile mud is? And these people look forward to Saturdays more than this TGIF folk in cities. So there is probably no work-life balance, but a balance nahi chahiye. Yes.
Wonderful. We can go on. So we're just left
One
with a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes. And
One question. My question is just related to Anil sir. Unfortunately, my wife is also sitting here, so I can ask this boldly. We are a 33-year-old company, And I believe in, I don't run a professionally managed company. I run a emotionally managed company. And then I have rather conflict with my wife. She thinks the other way, I think. Sometimes we have a conflict. So can you tell me which is the right approach? I am happy with the emotionally managed company, but she is sometimes saying the professionally managed is much better.
Sir, with respect to both of you, I need to tell you that what works for one person or one company need not work for any other company. And Sridhar often says, whenever he is asked these questions, he keeps telling himself as a reminder that, please. He keeps telling himself as a reminder that for every philosophy that Zoho proposes as a reason, looking backward for its success, sometimes it may not even be true. We may pick and choose, probably that's when we really identified what we wanted to do. Because all this is hindsight. For every philosophical pillar that we claim to be the reason for Zoho's success, somewhere else in the world, there is another company more successful than us, which is believing something exactly opposite.
So,
That's the way the world is. It all depends on what kind of people you attract, what tribe, what glue you apply to that tribe, and what unchanging mission that you have. So your mileage may vary.
So, great answer, Raj. And
last question.
Yeah, no, please. We are done with questions. We can't have more questions. So, thank you, Raj. The story of Zoho is testimony, and in itself is a masterclass in doing unconventional things, building, scaling organization grounds up from anywhere and everywhere is possible. That's what it says us. And most importantly, nurturing talent, retaining them, and building a powerhouse like this is incredible. Thank you for being here. One thing I must say, that one area where you guys gonna make huge money from here is that Zoho is one story which has got every masala for a great movie. And I am honestly looking forward to a Zoho movie very soon. Do you guys agree?
Thank you.
Thank you, Raj.
So much. Thank you so much, Alkesh, for extracting so much value out of Rajendran. Rajendran, you're not only unconventional, you're revolutionary, your voice, the way you expressed your ideas, it was evident that you're so passionate about what you're doing at Zoho. May I now invite Professor C.D. Mitra, Kolkata Executive Committee member, to felicitate Rajendran Dandapani. A big round of applause, please. So I'm not sure, Rajendran, if you know that all TiE events, members' data globally for all chapters are being managed on Zoho Events and Zoho Connects. This entire TiECON Kolkata 2025, the delegate registration, the speaker's profile, agenda, everything has been hosted on Zoho Events. Thank you so much, Alkesh.